All right, so let's start. Well, as you all know, my name is Ursi, and I am responsible for the recruitment of our programs in Sub-Saharan Africa. So not only Executive MBA, but then also master programs and full-time MBA. And I'm very excited that we were able to bring some really talented students and alumni here tonight to share their experience. So the session is going to be recorded, and then it will be uploaded in the Africa YouTube channel in order to give also future candidates the chance to hear your experiences. So what I suggest we would do, I would like to briefly walk you through the Executive MBA program and tell you a bit more about the highlights. And then afterwards, I prepared some really interesting questions for our speakers that I would like to ask them. But then, of course, this is an interactive session. So at any moment, if you have questions, feel free to open the microphone and ask your questions. All right. I see that Rose has also joined us now. Hi, Rose. We just started. So let me go ahead then with tell you a bit more. First of all, of course, introducing you briefly to our speakers of tonight, and they will do a more detailed introduction later on. So we have with us Chiamaka Amaku, who's currently doing the Executive MBA. She's now physically in Nigeria, in Lagos. Then we have, hi, Amaka. Then we have Adebola, who graduated from the Executive MBA 2024, 2025, right? He was in a different class as Sibo, so he graduated a little bit earlier from the Executive MBA, who's from Nigeria and is currently working based in Rwanda. Hi, Adebola.
Great to be here. Hi, Osi.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, everyone.
And then we have Sibo with us. Sibo is originally from Eswatini, living in South Africa, and she graduated from the Executive MBA in 2025. So yeah, late last year, very recent. I mean, yeah, still very recent. Hi, Sibo.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I graduated in October last year, so it's very fresh.
Yes, the last cohort. Okay, so I'm very excited. I'm sure that our candidates also are going to be very excited to hear more about your experience. First, a little bit more about the Executive MBA program for those of you that have not received the details yet. So we have different formats. As you can see here, there are 4 different formats. The formats that are interesting for our executives from Sub-Saharan Africa are, first of all, the blended format, right? And then also in some candidates might also be interested in the monthly format. What is the difference? So the monthly format has only face-to-face classes, and those classes are taking place once a month, 3 days. So that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Once a month, 100% in English. Then the second format, it's our blended format, online format, where our students have a combination of 1 week modules, face-to-face modules, alternated with online classes. So what does that mean? On Friday or Saturday, they will have online classes, and then every couple of months, they will have 1 face-to-face week. So mandatory, in order, of course, to do the program, there are, let's say, 5 modules, where 3 will be in our campus in Barcelona, 1 in Madrid, and then 1 international module, with then the option to add 2 more international weeks. I'm going to give you more details about what are the destinations later on. The other formats, I'm not going to go into details because really, I mean, unless there are some candidates that are interested in the monthly format in Madrid, which starts later, which will start in, February 27 then now for next year. Okay, now what is so interesting about our Executive MBA program? While other schools might mainly focus on one methodology, like the case study methodology, Esade is using a combined methodology. So of course we have case studies, but then we also have a very, very practical approach through coaching, mentoring, leadership series. I mean, you're going to be diving into conceptual frameworks, but then also putting them into practice. There's going to be a lot of teamwork, A lot of your grades will depend on teamwork. And then also there's going to be time for business simulation, role play, and then the outdoor training. So how does the content of the program look like? So I would say that from one side, we have the typical MBA courses like you have general management, strategy, marketing, finance, operations. But then there's another pillar of courses that I would say bring in those skills and those knowledge that we believe are very important for you in your, leadership in your future career. So here you have some examples, right? So we have the innovation entrepreneurship, we have the business ethics, which contains responsible business, sustainability, but then also leadership, the talent development program, geopolitics, right? And you will see that those courses, some of them go through the different terms. So we work with 4 terms, which is term A, B, and C. And then when we come to term D, this is, I would say, the term that our students will be able to customize the program, right, in different ways. So there are electives. You will see later on that there are different types of electives, those that are given online, those that you can take in on our campus in Barcelona, in Madrid, but then also abroad. So this is one way to customize, but then also through the international weeks, the immersion weeks that we call. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about that right here. So the electives, we're working with partner schools for those electives. And currently there are 13 destinations. As you can see, we're covering all the continents, the four continents. And you can see also here the schools that we are currently working with. This, of course, can change. We might have new partnerships for the next year. So, but we won't have like really, I would say, major changes, right? What we will probably have a change this year is in the international immersion weeks, where the Middle East is one of the destinations, right? So we're looking into new options. And as we are working with a lot of partner schools, we have a lot of partnership agreements for other programs too, like for the MSCs, for the MBA program. So we're taking advantage of those partnerships that we have, of course, also to then organize this immersion weeks. Now, as I said before, in order to graduate from the program, there are mandatory 5 weeks that you have to complete, right? The 4 weeks in Spain, and then you can choose one of those 4 destinations, Germany, Japan, US, or UAE, with then the option to add 2 more, right? Which are not mandatory, but you say, okay, I'm interested in going on those tours and those weeks, of course, then you can add that to the program. Some of the rankings I highlighted here, mainly the MBA, the Executive MBA. So you can see that Esade Executive Education was ranked the 2nd in the Financial Times, then the 7th Executive MBA in Europe, the 11th worldwide. And we have a really, really good ranking for the salary increase in general in Europe. So this is a ranking for European schools, right? So the first in Europe. And then, of course, Esade Entrepreneurship. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, you will have mandatory entrepreneurship courses during your MBA program, because we really want our students to, I would say, to work on this entrepreneurial thinking, right? So you don't have to be an entrepreneur to be intrapreneurial in your company. This is some information about careers. Of course, this every year can change, but mainly what is motivation of our students to do an executive MBA, right?
Sorry to disturb you. Are you sharing a deck? Because we can't see it.
You can't see it. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought I was sharing it. Oh my God, I've been talking all the time without sharing. I'm so sorry. Can you see it now?
Yeah. Not yet. Yeah.
Oh,
it is,
sorry.
it is fine
Nobody
on my
told
side.
me. Okay,
No,
so I'm gonna
no
go.
problem about it.
I'm gonna go quickly to the beginning. I'm so sorry. So the formats of the Executive MBA that I said, so the monthly format and then the blended format, I explained that. The methodology, okay, I explained all that too, the combined methodology. Then the courses, I wanted you to see this this overview, right? As I said, the more traditional MBA courses, but then also the courses that I said we think will add value to your experience and to you as your leader, which are then the business ethics, innovation, entrepreneurship, and here you can see how the 4 terms are divided, right? With then the last term, I explained the specialization where you can customize with the international weeks, the electives that are taking place. And then here, I wanted to show you this, right? The 13 destinations, the partner schools we're working with worldwide, spread over the 4 continents, and then the immersion weeks, Germany, Japan, US, and the Middle East, right? The Middle East, question mark, for the next edition. The rankings, also mentioned that briefly, right? And then this is where we just ended. So the placement, I mean, information on careers, why are our students choosing to do an executive MBA? Of course, some of them want to grow in their company. Others, and a large number, are looking for new opportunities, right? To boost their career, to go into a higher managerial position in I would say in other companies, right? So that's why for those of you that are looking into new options, of course we have our career team that will help you with that, right? Then here you can see what are the percentages. 61% moved to a new company, 30% got promoted in the company, and then 9% started a new business. So what we see very often is that even students that didn't even think about setting up their own business, because of having receiving the tools and the confidence, right, through the program, decide to set up their own business. And some of them decide to set up their business together with other peers that they have in class. This is the class profile of Sibo's class, right, who graduated in October last year. So in this class, I wanted to show this because we had a really high number of women, female representation of 59%. We had 49 participants in class, the average age 38, and then the average work experience 14. So out of those, in this class specifically, we had 32 different countries represented. And you can see here from Africa, we had a really good representation. So Sibo from Eswatini, we had Kenya, Nigeria represented, Rwanda, South Africa. So, but then you can see all the other countries. What we thought when we designed this new format, we said, okay, this format will be most of interest to those executives that are further away because they're not able to come every month to Barcelona. They're not able to travel every month. But then we saw that the format was really interesting also for Europeans, for example, that said, okay, we can't commit every month. We travel a lot, so we prefer this blended format. And that's why you see that there's also a good representation of Europeans in this program. Now, the application process, of course, is going on. There are different steps. Of course, you have to apply online. You will have to upload some additional documents. And then we do ask you to do an admissions test. And the good news is that you can do our own test, which is the Esade test, which is free of charge, which is an online test. And you can book that test once you submit your application. And then, of course, there's going to be an interview, an official interview that is going to be with me. And then after that, I will present your application to the committee. So we have a rolling admissions process. That means that every week we take decisions, right? And then maximum 2-3 days later, you will receive the email with a decision. And then, yeah, I think this is the most important information regarding the application process. I recommend, I would say, not to wait too long if you're interested to join this year's intake, mainly also because of then the early bird that you can see here. We still offer an early bird, and that's until the 30th of June. So that means that, of course, you need to have gone through the process, you need to have done the test, you need to have done the interview, and have been admitted by the committee, of course. Now, regarding the financing options, which I know that is very important for all of you, right? You can see here the tuition fee, which is 70,700, and then the early bird, which is a discount of 4,000 that we give to all candidates that enroll before the 30th of June. There is some exception, and that's what I'm going to explain now in combination with the awards. So you, of course, are free to apply for one of our Excellence Awards. So we call it Talent Scholarships. And on the website, you will see there's a Leadership, Women in Business, Diversity, Entrepreneurial, and then the Forte Foundation. If you apply for the Forte Foundation, an extra benefit here is that, of course, it's for women, only for women, that you will become member of the Forte Foundation, which is a worldwide association foundation that is focusing on women in business and is organizing a lot of events, networking, business opportunities. So I always recommend to apply for that one because you have this additional advantage. Now, the Africa Talent Award. So this is an award that can go up to maximum 50%. I say up to, of course, it's not guaranteed that you will receive 50%. What we take in account to be granted this award. Of course, if we look to other continents, other countries, we do not give those scholarships. That's why it's not announced on the website neither. This is a specific award that we launched to attract more talent from Africa. So what do we take in account? It is a talent. It is a talent award, but at the same time, we also take in account the economic situation of your country. So it is also, I would say, partly also a need scholarship, right? Now, what we take in account is experience. So your overall profile, your seniority level, your managerial experience, the results that you have achieved in your career are going to be important. Your international exposure. So working for an international company, working in international teams, global teams, having worked on international projects, working with international providers, clients worldwide, that will also, of course, add value to your application. Then also some of our executive MBA candidates have a PhD. Also important, I mean, of course, very few have it, but it will add additional value to your profile. And then, of course, social impact. Esade is all about do good, do better, right? So what impact have you realized during your career in your personal life, and what is your motivation for the future, your aspirations for the future, right? So this is all, I would say, the evaluation that we do in order to decide on this scholarship, right? So I wanted to explain that. Now, important is if you receive a 50% scholarship, we cannot combine it with an early bird. Why? Because the maximum discount, total discount that we can give for this program is 50%, right? So if you say, okay, I receive a 40% scholarship, then you can combine with the early bird. Besides scholarships, then different loan option. It's becoming very challenging for Africans to receive loans from the official providers like Prodigy and other banks. So that's why Esade launched last year an income shared agreement, which is a loan that is granted by Esade. And you can find more information on the website, and you can apply for that. So that's then possible to combine the income shared agreement with the scholarship. Now, we are now actively looking into local African loan providers. There have been several meetings with different companies. So hopefully, I mean, there's going to be some agreements being signed in the near future, so that we can give more options, taking into account that it's becoming really challenging to get those loans from other banks. All right, a little bit more about the alumni network. You will see, okay, why only one dot in Africa, in South Africa? What's going on? We don't have alumni in the other countries. Yes, we do have. Now, these are all the official chapters, international chapters. There are 74. And in order to create an official chapter, we need to have a minimum of, I believe it's 100 alumni in one country. So we only have one official one in South Africa. But then we have really active alumni communities in Nigeria, in Ghana, and in Kenya. That would be the biggest one, where we have the highest representation of alumni. So we have WhatsApp groups for those countries where we connect our students. And then whenever I'm traveling, there's always, interactions, events for alumni, which recently has been in Mauritius, last year in Tanzania. We've done that in Rwanda. So there's a really, really large community of not only African alumni in Africa, but also non-Africans, right? Taking a decision to go and establish themselves in Africa. Now, some, I would say, prominent Esade alumni, so you can see they all did their MBA at Esade. We have the CEO of Johnson & Johnson, the CEO of Hewlett-Packard, the CEO of PepsiCo, and then we have, Adebola, and can tell you more about Jordi Borut, right? He's the managing director of Heineken Beverages now in South Africa. And previously, he was a general manager in Burundi. This company was called Brasserie Limonaderie de Burundi. That was for 2 years. And then he was also based in Nigeria, where he was the managing director of Nigerian Brewers for 4 years. And then, of course, we also have women as CEOs. And I think a really, really good example is Sabina Flusha. She's the CEO of the Iberostar Group. So I wanted to just, because those alumni, in different ways, they collaborate with Esade, right? It could be for career opportunities, but also for projects, for internships, in all kinds of events that can happen. Those alumni are very, very important to us, right? And are very, I would say, collaborative with the school. Now, I think we can go to the next part and to our Q&As. As I said at the beginning, I did prepare some questions that I think our attendees here would like to hear more about. But then feel free, all of you, to open the microphone, to interrupt. I want this to be a conversation, right? So I'm going to stop sharing now. And then I would like maybe first Chiamaka, then Adebola, and then Sibo to briefly introduce themselves. Yeah, is that okay? Yes. Hi, Chiamaka. We can't hear you. There's some interaction.
Is this better?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm at the office, so I had to plug my ears. Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. My name is Amaka, and I am currently an Esade MBA student. I am in the Executive MBA blended program, the hybrid program, which means I learn online. 80% of my classes are online, and the remaining 20%, I have to go to weekly residencies once every quarter in Spain or wherever we have immersion weeks. But professionally, I am the senior marketing specialist at Fincra. It's a global payments company here in Lagos, Nigeria, which helps businesses in Africa collect payments from other businesses in Africa, basically bridging the gap for payments in Africa. I'm also the founder of 3 small businesses. I have a travel company called Voyagers Nigeria. I have a beauty company called Amaka's Hair for Days. And I have a bunch of other retail companies that, buy and sell things from China into Africa. I am very excited to be here and answer all your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chiamaka. Hi, Adebola.
Okay, super. Hi, everyone. So I'm Adebola Adeyemi, a Nigerian. Started out my career 12 years ago in the Nigerian business for Heineken. In commerce. Then I moved to business transformation to the head office in Amsterdam and led our largest ever business transformation program pilot. Currently, I'm digital and technology director at Heineken Rwanda. So I'm happy to be here. I finished in 2024 and I was part of the hybrid. I did a hybrid program. We're the first hybrid, right, Osi?
Yes.
So
yes.
we're the most special. So we're the first hybrid class, and It's great to see others who want to join the program. So happy to be here to take your questions. So I hand over to Sibo. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm Sibo Mabuza. As Osi has said, I'm originally from a very tiny country called Eswatini. I currently live in Johannesburg in South Africa. I did the MBA from 2023 to 2025. And I have a few businesses as well. I have one also in the beauty business, Amaka. And I'm also a consultant. My background is in technology. I worked for Microsoft for quite a few years. So right now my focus is on smart cities, supporting local government in their digital transformation journey. So happy to be here also. I always enjoy these conversations. So looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, and I always enjoy to have your presence and to hear about your experiences. Now, my first question maybe for Amaka, because it's very recent for you that you took the decision, right? So, what I wanted to ask you, what moment did you realize like, okay, I need something bigger. I need something bigger than my current career path. So, yeah, can you tell us a bit more about that?
Okay, well, for me, I think towards the end of 2024, I started feeling like something was missing in my life. There were gaps, especially when it comes to my career. I was working with another global payments company at the time. It was a unicorn, it was a massive company. So it was one of those jobs that felt larger than life, but at the same time, my career felt small, it wasn't growing. So I needed a change, and that change would come with a whole lot of disruption that led to leaving that job, getting a new one. And honestly, entering into the Executive MBA program helped me redirect my life in a way that I needed, because it gave me the exact change I needed. And the change was just, I needed to be uncomfortable. I was too comfortable. That's why I was not growing. So I needed to be put in the exact scenario that felt like pressure, so that I would rise to the occasion and grow within my career. I'm just 7 months into the program, and I've already switched roles. I have started a leadership position in another company. So yeah, the dissatisfaction I felt before I started was change that was brewing.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Thanks for sharing. And then Sibo, I remember when we met the first time in Johannesburg, right? We had our conversation. You were considering an executive MBA. And what then was your biggest doubt or your fear for starting an executive MBA? Was there something that held you back to take a decision?
Yeah, my age, you remember that. So I'm 53 years old this year, but I think at that time I just turned 50. So I thought, well, am I too old to do this? Have I left it too long? For many years, I wanted to do an MBA. And then eventually I found a school. So I think maybe I can answer a question you haven't asked me, which is why Esade? I really wanted a school that had a social angle. A lot of the MBAs I had seen before were really about, and I don't know, I'm not judging anyone on this panel, but they were about, advancing your career. I was really about how do we advance social good in our continent. And I wanted an MBA that had a humanistic angle. I didn't know I wanted it until I came across Esade. And so when I read about the programs and, the entrepreneurship support and the humanistic approach, I was like, now I'm ready. This is the one that I want. So then I was thought, okay, is it too late? Am I too old? And so, we had Esade assured me there are other oldies on the program. I saw she had an average age of 38. No, there were actually a lot older people there. So I was very much
so this doubt disappeared once you started the program, right?
That's right. That's right. Lots of professional. Of course, I like to think of myself as quite a young 50-year-old,
Of course. No, for sure. So, and Adebola, also, what was your experience like? Before you start the program and after, when you finish the program, how did you think if you did think differently, you know, before or after the program? Did you see any change?
Yeah, thanks very much. So for me, before I joined the program, I was always looking at how can I have a broader view of things, a much more big, larger global perspective, an understanding of businesses end to end, and to also be able to put things from, okay, this is what I feel, gut feel, but then backing it up with theoretical frameworks and the data. That whole mindset shift also helped happen partly during the MBA. Of course, partly because I took on other roles, but partly during the MBA. And that was really important for me because I wanted to move into roles that were more generalist, like a managing director role in the future. So it's important that I understand the business end to end. And so when we looked at courses where we did from finance to marketing to business analysis, it helped to form a broader view on things, to geopolitics, and helps you to understand why the macros are so important. So yes, it really helped shape. And also the quality of the cohorts of your classmates, challenging each other, bringing different perspectives to bear, because we all come from different industries, different worldview, and different parts of the world. And it helps to shape. And when you do those things where you need to interact with each other, where you need to work in groups and come to an agreement on what you are submitting, you also need to understand the different nuances. So I think that really helped shape me after the MBA.
Yeah. And then also related to that, but maybe I want to ask that to Sibo. So being part of this international classroom, do you think it influenced also the way you think about opportunities in Africa? Yeah?
Yeah, it's an interesting one to think about because we had people from, let me just mention, we had quite a huge contingent from Saudi. And Saudi is quite interesting because there's a traditional way in which they've conducted themselves and the way that we view the country. But as they came in, we saw that they as a country were going through a transformation, you know, and I don't know, you know, when you think about Saudi, you think about this kind of very religious, very kind of restrictive environment. But the people we met were not. Where they saw themselves going was not. And then it was interesting to think about ourselves as a continent, because not that we're religious or restrictive in any way, but because we've been viewed in a particular way for so long, it's even hard to imagine us being transformed, if you like. So it was good to see that even kind of traditional societies can shift. And so to think about how can we also go through our own transformation. I think that would be the one. I mean, you know, Europe is pretty much, we didn't have many people from Europe. We had a few, but I think we had quite a lot from Saudi. And that for me was hugely impactful, quite inspiring as well.
Yeah. And I think also, Esade, I mean, we're really looking for this diversity in class and also in a way trying to adapt, because now, for example, one of the modules, I don't know if it was your cohort, Amaka, that one module fell during the Ramadan. And because of having the Muslims in class, the program manager gave the opportunity for them to attend online, right? I believe that was your class.
Yeah, it was my class. Honestly, I related to what Sibo said. We have over 22 people from Saudi Arabia. I've never had that much insight, yes, into the Middle East and, you know, how they do business and their economy. Apparently, their economy is really good. I'm very interested in Saudi now, just by reason of attending this program and meeting other members of my cohort.
Yeah.
But yes, there was one of our residential modules fell in the Ramadan week, so they gave them the opportunity to attend online, but also still created another week for them to come in April. So I think that was really accommodating of the school.
Yeah, because this flexibility, I think, I mean, Esade is doing a really good job, you know, to be flexible and also changing in case there are geopolitical situations and like now happening in the Middle East, because for the next intake we will still have of course candidates from Saudi Arabia, from Middle East, but because of the situation, of course there won't be 20 in class, but we will have a good representation still. So I wanted to ask maybe Amaka, because I have you here now. So being African, what are the strengths that you think African professionals can bring in the cohort? Because you said what you learned from, other nationalities, but what do you think you and Sibo and Adebola, what are your strengths that you bring in the cohort?
Honestly, for me, I would say resilience, especially if I want to contextualize it further, bring it to the Nigerian context. In my classroom, there's just two of us, two Nigerians, and I think 3 Africans in general. It's just different because we are used to the conditions we grew up in. They're not optimal, they're not ideal. So we've had to really power through unfavorable situations. It means that there's just something extra. We go the extra mile. We're more resilient because we've been put through the fire. And I think when you bring it to a global learning space like Esade, it just really kind of sets you apart. It makes you see things entirely differently. And I like that I have the African context, honestly.
Yeah. And also here, like, of course, from all parts in Esade, that we would really like to have more African representation, because in Sibo's class you were like 10, I believe, 9 or 10, right, out of the 49. So there was a really large representation. Professors are saying, look, we want more students from Africa because they really bring in a very interesting perspective, right? They're also trying to adapt and also the examples that they are giving, right, on this. And then also from students, other students, we want more students from Africa because we want really, they have a very different way of, analyzing or looking for solutions. And so at the end, I mean, having this diversity in class is really important, right, in your learning experience. I have more questions, but maybe I want to open the possibility for our attendees to ask some questions before I continue. I see Rose, Onye.
So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead. I think my question comes from a just work-life balance. I'll use myself as an example. I work for a multinational. Some of my projects, even though I do run them from South Africa, I have global counterparts. So I literally work around the clock. So I think, any tips in terms of like balancing that. And I think also the time away, I mean, the 5 weeks is also quite a considerable amount of time as well. So maybe just practical tips, I guess, for current and I guess previous more recent grads in terms of how they manage the hybrid. I think for me it's the biggest concern as we speak. Also, just also given the fact that if you're at work on I guess a high growth trajectory, and now you're saying I'd like to also pursue an executive MBA, it is a difficult discussion to actually have.
Yeah.
Can I answer that? Okay. I think from my understanding, your question is how do you manage the program when you're really busy at work, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think for me, it really helps, number one, that I have a supportive team. I've been blessed to have a supportive team in both companies that I worked at in the course of this program. So I've also been blessed to lead the team in most cases. So I tell them that when I have my residential weeks, I can't do anything. I tried the very first one. I did not know. Nobody prepared me for how hectic that week was going to be. So I didn't take a leave of absence. I was supposedly working. I couldn't. I couldn't. The classes start from morning and they end in the evening. But it's only just that week. That week is the most stressful period you will have. Then the online classes and all your assignments and projects, that's where time management comes into play. Thankfully, the classes only happen Fridays and Saturdays. It means that it doesn't disrupt your work week. Like I chose Saturdays, so you get to choose between Friday or Saturday. I chose Saturdays. It means that I do my 9 to 5 job Monday to Friday, and on Saturday I know the entire day is for school. Like after my classes, I grab lunch and focus on some assignments I have due, and you just have to manage your time. It's a sacrifice that you need to make for the degree that you want. Then when we have other meetings that cut into like work hours, like now I'm at the office, you can see people moving in the background. I find a quiet space and come and take the calls, work with my team and whatever. But I just try, support is the most important thing. The people you work with, you need to disclose to them that, oh, you're starting a program. This is what's required, especially when you have to go in the immersive weeks. Yeah, those are stressful periods. But outside of that, it's pretty flexible. I'm able to run multiple businesses and do my 9 to 5 and still go to school because of how flexible the program is.
Thank you. Okay.
Maybe is Sibo or Adebola, would you like to add maybe your
Yes.
insights? Because Adebola, you also have, well, both of you, all of you have a very demanding job.
Yeah,
During the program.
I did the hybrid, and when I did the hybrid, I did it in the middle of a move to another country, and also in the middle of a career change. So it was 3 big changes happening for me in my life, and then so key for me because at the beginning it almost felt overwhelming when you look at so many things I was trying to combine. But then I had no choice but to combine all of those things. I didn't want any of those things to wait. If you do not have the luxury of choosing things, because I always told myself, and I told other people like Bayo who came after me, that there is never a great time to start an MBA. Just start it. There will always be something happening in your life at every point in time. So well, for me, I took it sometimes 1 week at a time, but then I realized that when you don't study those materials on time as you're given, it starts piling up and then it becomes too much. So I consciously made out 2 hours every night before I went to bed. So I either study an article from what we had, or to work on an assignment, or to chat with classmates. You will most likely be put into a group. Now, in that group, all of you have different strengths. Some of you are better at some things than others. On some things, one person takes the lead and we support. So it depends on how you find that balance within the team. I also did the Saturday because the Friday was not going to be feasible for me. And then I got the office to that when I go on those breaks to Barcelona or Madrid or Berlin, that I'm able to focus there for that 1 week. If you really want to get the best out of it, you can't be reading emails while you're in class. So that 1 week when you are there, let it really be that 1 week focusing on what you're doing there. So I think it's really about finding that balance, what works for you, and what you can cope with. But then finding that right balance within your group, and seeing how can you work together as a team and sharing things between each other.
Yeah, Adebola, because you just moved before the start of the program to the Netherlands, or was it in between? Yeah.
So I moved to the Netherlands in June, and I started the program in October.
Yeah.
Then I also moved departments, moving from e-commerce, then now moving to end-to-end enterprise transformation. So that was totally different for me. So it was a lot happening in my life at that point.
And then also having your family with you, right? Your children with you in the Netherlands, that was also everything new for them, because new country for them. So you also are responsible, for your family, right? So
Indeed.
Yeah, so you had a tough one.
You don't have the luxury of Africa where you can just say, "Oh, I have the money."
You can make it happen, yeah. And Sibo, also you, right, with your family, you had family in South Africa to coordinate your businesses.
Yeah, so I have my own business, so I don't really worry about. When you have your own business, you work 24/7. If you're not working, you're stressing. So that's not, I don't know if I can help you on this one, Rose. The only thing I can say is I'll support Adebola to say, like, once you decide to do something, like, you will make it work because the time is there. But it will be, I'm not going to lie to you, it will add time to you. It will be a strain, but nothing worth doing is not worth the effort. No one said it's going to be easy. You have to just say, I'm going to put in the time, I'll make the sacrifice. I mean, fortunately, if your problem is time, that's your small problem. Other people, my problem was the financial, paying for that expensive MBA, right? So there's each of us have to deal with our crosses. And I think that at the end of the day, once you make the decision to do it, for sure, you won't regret it because it's definitely worth it.
All right, thank you.
Wise words. Are you happy, Rose, with the experience, the feedback?
It's food for thought, Josie. Food for thought.
Okay. All right. Good. Any other questions? I don't know if Miriam has a question, Onye, Ndoya. Ndoya.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Many thanks for this webinar. And Irsi, you know me, my first dream is to start Executive MBA in Esade. And my last dream is the same also. But yeah, now I have a issue for I have an issue for my speaking exactly, because I'm francophone. I'm francophone, and last 2023 I left my country to Johannesburg to learn English at Wits University to help me to start my executive MBA. So at the time I finished this learning in the intermediate level. So I would like to know if this level can help me to start the executive MBA next November, because I hold the certificate from Wits University School, Wits Language School.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in any case, Ndoya, you know that you have to do the admissions test, right? If you do the Esade admissions test, you can include the English test, right?
Yeah.
And if not, I will have to look in we will have to have a separate conversation and see what exactly are the certificates that you got to see if they would be valid. And if not, we always have the chance to add the English test to your Esade test, right? But I think we can have a separate conversation about that. I do see that your English has improved after your South Africa stay, so I can hear it, right? Since we talked last time, so congratulations on that. And I'm sure, I mean, we will talk about that, but we will find a way, yeah?
Okay, many thanks. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we don't have too many candidates from French-speaking African countries, so most of the candidates are coming from English speaking. So I do understand, and we will go through it and also see what could be challenges for you, taking in account the classes and also your understanding and so on. But we will have a conversation about that. Yeah.
Okay, many thanks.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions? If not, I'm going to ask my questions. I see that Safas is also there now. Hi, Safas. You just joined. I don't think you can maybe hear. Any other questions? Mariam, do you have a question? Onye, I see that you're in the car. Hi.
I have a question. My question was actually about the work-life balance, because I have a very demanding job as well. So I wanted to know if I can fit the MBA into my life with my job, but Rose already asked and it's been answered.
Okay, all right. So then in any case, I'm always happy to have an offline conversation. So to go more into the details about your specific situation, and then we can talk about that. All right. So then maybe a little bit more. We still have some time. We still have 10 minutes. So if you have questions, please interrupt me. In the meantime, maybe a little bit more about your experiences in doing the electives, the international weeks. How did you think they added value to your experience? I see Sibo saying yes, so let's start with Sibo. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the funnest part, I would say. So the electives and I guess the different extras that we do in the different countries, I thought were the most interesting. We did a module in Berlin for entrepreneurship, and that was amazing. We went around to a bunch of different small businesses. So, I have businesses, so it was good to see the startup kind of economy there and how it works, and also then to couple it with the cultural. So it was kind of like also to see Germany. Our lecturer there was from East Berlin, so we had quite a good overview. I also went to Japan. I went to China. I went to the US. So I got to see so many different places. And I think that was like, for me, like one of the most interesting parts of the program.
And Sibo, was it also you that chose to do electives with Gibbs, but then in another country? Was it in Rwanda, or I don't remember if it was you?
No, it wasn't me. It was Caroline who came to
Oh,
Gibbs from Rwanda.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so and she did the electives in Rwanda, right?
So no, she was in
No?
Rwanda and she did her elective in South Africa.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Yeah, I try,
okay.
and I think one thing I can advise, maybe Amaka, if you haven't done it yet, like as soon as it comes through, apply immediately. There's no guarantee that you'll get in, because I wanted to go to Bocconi in Italy, and by the time I applied, it was fully booked. Like there are no guarantees, but it's when you get in. In China, there were only two of us, and that was really fun. So I think the fact that there's so many different places you can go to, I could have gone to more places, just it's a budget limitation now, because you must pay for your flights to get there. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
And then doing those electives, Sibo, you were in class with students from the partner school, right? So this was also very interesting for your network.
That's correct. So like in China, they were actually doing that class, and I joined their class.
Yeah.
And it was great to meet other people. Even culturally, they socialize differently. But the one in Germany, it was just Esade, but we got to interact with the monthly program and the weekly. So then, we were mixed up there. So yeah, I think that was also quite interesting. So it wasn't just your cohort that you were with, but it was also, I also really enjoyed the residential weeks going to Barcelona. They also, because when you're online, you see people differently, but then once you get to be on site with them, you say, oh, this guy's actually really nice. But they were so serious, like Adebola is now. When you see them in person, they're actually like the funniest guy in the class. So that's why it's quite nice to like have that on like a residential component, because then you get to meet people, and we all became really good friends. So it's quite good.
Yeah, because once you've done the first residential week and you get to know everybody, then of course it's different afterwards when you continue online in your group work, right? Because you have another connection. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Anything, Adebola, you want to add about international experiences, electives, Amaka?
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, I think everybody's journey is slightly different, as I found out in class, because there are quite a number of exciting electives that you can take across different schools. So I took one at SIBS, I took two at other partner institutions. They were quite interesting. Some of my colleagues could do more electives. Some went to Korea, some went to the US. So it was quite interesting, though I couldn't take all of them, but I took the ones that I could. But I found the electives quite interesting. Also, when deciding to go to Esade, because then I had Esade and I had IE, and then I reached out to people who someone who had gone to Esade, or who was planning to go to Esade, And then I reached out to two people who I know had gone to IE, and they were like, oh, at IE, it was really just about really learning to just finish. And they do not think that they created those networks or relationships in their class after. So that for me was big. And then I went to Esade, but I wasn't disappointed because even post-graduation, our unit has remained very, very close. Interestingly, our own hybrid class, we started out because we're thinking hybrid, it's a mixture of in class and online, and we started first online. And then by the first time we met on campus, the connection, the way everyone was together, the trips that we've planned beyond the MBA and the time we've spent supporting each other, I think it went beyond the MBA. So for me, Esade was really, really worth it, and the relationships that we created there.
Thank you, Adebola.
Yeah.
Amaka, you didn't do any electives yet, right? But you did go to Japan and
No, I haven't gone to Japan. I'm going this September. So I'm just
okay.
via the application. But I'm looking forward to, I'm a traveler. It's one of my core pillars in life. I love to move around. So I'm looking forward to learning in an entirely different experience. Spain was big for me because I've only learned in Nigeria. And now I get to do Japan and hopefully the US. I'm so excited for electives, honestly.
Yeah, I was confused with Linda because she's the year before
Linda,
you. She just came back from Japan. Yeah. Right. Any other questions from the audience?
Hi everyone. So I don't
Hi,
really have
nice seeing you.
Hi, Ursi, how are you?
Hi.
So yeah, I don't necessarily have a question because I think I've covered most of these things. I'm coming already. I have my admission. I'm very excited. But these other aspects of like traveling in different places and getting electives, I didn't read the brochure too well because I didn't really know about that, and it's just making me even more excited. In terms of the like work-life balance that they were asking about, yeah, that is key for me. But like Sibo said, I don't work for anyone. I work for myself. So like today I'm at home. So it's a thing of like, just balancing your time. I think that I've picked, like you guys have said that, because that was one of my biggest concerns, because like I kind of have a lot of things I'm doing, and like you're not getting a salary at the end of the month, so you have to make sure that you're working, that kind of thing. But I think, Sibo has kind of like eased that a little bit. Ursi did help a lot when we're talking about it, like, don't worry, you'll be fine. And like, yeah, I just feel very like assuaded now. I'm happy I joined this. And I'm looking forward to the electives, because traveling, like I said, traveling is, one of my core passions. And I'm very excited to join. So thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Anya. Now, I mean, we talked about a lot of really exciting things happening in the Executive MBA, but was there any moment that you thought, okay, now it's too much? And then what helped you? What helped you to continue? What gave you this motivation to continue? Who would like to say something about that?
I would.
Yeah. Okay. You already had your challenge. I see.
So in my first 3 months, I was like, wow, okay, nobody prepared me for this. So because I'm someone who knows how to juggle, juggling has always been like businesses, job, content creation. I've done it all. So I was like, yeah, it's just an MBA. At the same mentality that Sibo shared. When you feel like it's time to do something, just do it. You'll figure it out along the way. But I had to actually tell myself that, you need to commit. Because at some point I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna drop out. It was that hard. So it's easy going and easy breezy. Your first module in Barcelona, you love it. It's all fun and games. The minute you come back from that module, life starts to get real. Like it starts to get serious. And then you have to lock in. So at that point, everything was slipping through my fingers. I was missing my deadlines for submissions. I was struggling. And it was funny because I thought that the financials of this program would be the tough part. It's not been. The tough part is actually committing to it. It's the time. The time is the tough part. So I was forced to go back, integrate systems that could help me move faster. I adopted the use of AI in so many of my work. I automate so much of my work now so that I can focus and learn, because I am not going to pay all that money to just miss the entire experience of the program. And yeah, the first 5 months were very challenging. Well, maybe not the first two, but the 3 months after the first two, super challenging. But I was able to come out of that, and now I'm just kind of flowing with my program. I know it's going to get tougher again when we start doing like the final projects, because I talked to Linda and she's like, "Oh my gosh, every day." But yeah, it has its highs, and then it has the period where it's gonna feel very stressful. But at the end of the day, the degree is so worth it. The network that I have made already just by being in this program, just the post today I posted that, oh, I was now a student at Esade. That post brought me a lot of conversation. So yes, it's worth it. You just have to sacrifice. That's it. Yeah.
Amaka, you're a very important contributor for promoting Esade. You know that. I'm sharing all your posts.
I need influencer fees, okay?
But and also the other students. I mean, Tito. She's doing a weekly post on her experience, what she learned. I mean, I all recommend to follow her. She's doing the monthly format. She moved to Barcelona. She's living here while doing the monthly executive MBA. She's from Nigeria. Every week she makes a post about her learnings, and I couldn't have any better, I mean, contribution than all of you. I mean, the students themselves, and alumni, of course, sharing their experiences. And yeah, I'm always, as soon as I see something, I repost it to make it also visible for other candidates, right, around Africa. Any last chance for maybe a last question? And if not, I think we can round up. I have maybe one last question, like what has been so far for you, Amaka, the best class, the best professor, and why? Amaka, you want to go first?
Yes, I think I have two. The first one being global economy. I like money. I like the concept of the economy. I like to know about, how the economy affects me. So I love that class so much. Even though the professor was very fast, because she's Spanish, so her English, she speaks really fast. And I struggled a little bit when I was learning online, but the minute I got to Spain and we did the in-person classes, I enjoyed her class so much. And I think so far in all my grades, that has been the class I did the best. She was amazing. Then we have marketing, planning, and execution. Ferran, he's full of so much energy. He has so much, like, it's the class that has encouraged everyone to participate. Like in all the classes we've taken, that marketing course has been so good because you have no choice. Even if you're failing in the tests and the simulations, you must participate. And I think it's very important that others take note from that, because when we're learning online, attention span kind of drops. But yeah, I really appreciate that professor's energy. And he shared sweets in class. I like that.
He's also the director of our Executive Master Marketing and Sales, which is a program that has been running 20 years jointly with Bocconi. Yeah, he's the academic director.
He's good. He's really good.
Yeah. What about you, Sibo? What was your favorite professor in class?
Wow. I actually don't remember their names now, but I do remember. Yeah, I had some good classes. The social, we had a social entrepreneurship. We also did, there was one we did towards the end. I think it was about change, which everyone really, really loved. I think it was a in-class program, but most of the ones really around our contribution to society. Those were kind of my favorites. And I wanted to also answer that question about where the pressure came. I want to say I had quite a different experience though to Amaka, just not to scare some of the people who are on here. I think for me, I found that so long as you attended the classes on time, it actually worked out to get most of the content, and also you get unit papers, because I did my master's degree before and we had like books to read. Whereas the way they do it in the Esade is like a case-based way. So you get a case study to read, which is much more easier to consume than actually reading like the books that I had to do when I did my master's. Sorry, it's quite cold in South Africa. So I think that for me, just keeping up with those cases made it much more doable. But there were moments, because not everything was due at the same time. There were like, at the end of the term, towards the end, when all the assignments were not just due at the same time. And I think that's what Amaku was talking about, where everything just comes and you've got like, oh my God, I can't cope, but it passes. I think that's the only thing. That's what she was saying. Like eventually it passes, but then you go through a period of quiet as well. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to jump off. I have another appointment.
No worries. We're gonna
at 7.
close up anyway. I'm not gonna bother Adebola anymore with the question, but just, I'm very, very grateful that once again, you helped me, and I'm sure that attendees also appreciate a lot hearing from you how were your experiences, and I hope that it helped. For their decision process, and yeah, Amaka, Adebola, Sibo, nice seeing you here. I will see Amaka in Barcelona probably, maybe first in Nigeria after the summer, and then Sibo, I will see you very soon in South Africa. Adebola, no plans for Rwanda yet, but yeah, let me know when you're going to be in town, when you're traveling, coming this way. And thanks to the three of you. And then to all of you that have attended, I'm always available. You can reach out to me, have a further conversation. If you want to be connected with our students or with our alumni, yeah, happy to do so and help you further, and hopefully see all of you in Esade. All right. Have a lovely evening, all of you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
Nice seeing you
Bye-bye.
all. Bye. Bye-bye.